Hi, welcome to the course Machine Learning with Python. This is the fifth module and the last module for this course. In this module, we will have a look into the capstone project. Now, just a word of caution. Uh, if in case you assume that you would actually be solving one project end to end along with the coding examples, that won't be the scenario. This module is rather aimed, so there are specifically two aims or two objectives associated with this module. The first objective is to give you a brief about how does the life cycle of a problem look like. So whenever you're solving a machine learning problem, you actually look into something very specific. You start solving with a specific problem. But that is not the case how actually a machine learning problem originates. The origin of a machine learning problem has to do with a rather general problem that comes from the leadership team of an organization. So we'll have a look at how a machine learning problem is evolved. Like what is the first problem they're trying to solve, out of which one of the small specific problem would be a machine learning use case. So that's the first objective. Second objective would be to refresh you through all the strategies and approaches that we have discussed in the previous modules and help you assimilate that learning into this module with the project. So I'll be giving you a data set. I'll be helping you understand the problem statement. We'll also talk about what are the different approaches that needs to be taken to solve this problem, what are the possible alternatives, and are there any roadblocks that you will hit? And if in case you hit those roadblocks, what could you possibly do to circumvent that situation? So this module will actually help you groom for the project, but then actually the hands-on part of the project would be expected to be done by you. So this would be nothing really difficult. It's everything required to solve the project in this module was actually taught in the previous four modules. So let's get started. We'll have a look at the contents that we are going to cover in this particular module. So we can broadly divide the contents for this module into two sections. In the first section, ranging from points 1, 2, and 3, we'll first look into the use case overview. So we'll try to understand how does a problem evolve in nature, how do large organizations understand there's an urgency to solve a problem, and how does that eventually evolve into a more specific problem. Now, once that overview is understood, once we have a brief context about how does a problem evolve actually in large organizations, we'll go into a more tangible scenario where we'll define the problem statement using industry standard structure. Once we define the problem statement, we would need to develop a business solution blueprint. Now, this blueprint will have the entire solution to solve the problem that we have defined in the second part. Now, once the entire solution is developed, that's when we have an answer to the questions we are asking. And one of the answers to a specific question in that blueprint will result in a machine learning use case. So this is where a machine learning use case actually germinates. Now, in most cases, in most courses, when we talk about a machine learning use case, we directly jump to point number 4. But that's not so that doesn't really help us to understand how does the problem evolve actually in nature. But then once we have an understanding about the machine learning use case that the project will be solving, we'll start with the same process that we have learned in the previous section. So this is the second part of the module where we'll actually solve the machine learning project. So then we'll go into exploratory data analysis and feature engineering. We'll discuss about the approach required for the model development, evaluation, and optimization. And finally, once everything is done, we'll talk about storyboarding, the last part of any project, where we connect the dots and we kind of create a story that we can deliver to the stakeholder in a very layman way. So that's all for this module. I hope at the end of the module, you will have tangible experience in solving an end-to-end machine learning or any problem that arises which can be solved data-driven. So let's get started.